We've all been told 3 lies since we were born about getting a job or entering the job market or working for yourself. These are lies that have been indoctrinated into us to make sure that we are happy little workers. This has resulted in many people that are too afraid to go out on their own and start an own business, or they're concerned that it's outside of their possibility. So to fix this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the 3 huge lies that we've all been told since birth. So let's jump right in. Lie number 1. A job is something to just pay the bills. You're born, you go to school, you graduate from school or university, you go and do that 9-to-5 job where you spend every day looking forward to the few weeks holiday a year you have, and then what you do is you keep working that job until you're 65 and then you retire, and if you're lucky you've got 15 years or so before you die. So this sounds like a great deal, doesn't it? You spend 80% of your life working on the hope that you have an enjoyable 20% at the end. But this isn't actually the case anymore. With the power of the internet and the leverage of social media, you can start a business in your evenings or weekends and generate an additional income. You can even build that up to a level where you don't need to do that 9-to-5 job anymore, and you can actually focus on living your life. Lie number 2. Starting a new business is expensive. This used to be true. Maybe you are a baker and you would like to open up your own bakery. This would be outside of most people's probability, because at the end of the day you would need to find up startup capital to rent a property, get equipment in, get staff in, stock, and so and so. But this isn't the case anymore. Now you can start a business with a laptop and a few €100. Maybe you wouldn't be able to open a bakery, but you'd still be able to open a business based on your passion. Maybe you would throw a few videos up on YouTube and showing people how to design a particular type of cake, or how to use a particular style. You build up a fan base, you start building up a base on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. And then you create a video course. Well, this video course doesn't need you to be there. You record it once. So that amount of time and effort that you've put in, that single time, will generate you a consistent income. This is something we call passive income, and something that I will talk about a lot later. The 3rd lie is my absolute favorite, that a 9-to-5 job provides security. This is something I hear about from people a lot. When you're in a 9-to-5 job, you have more security than somebody that works for themselves. I'm going to call complete BS on that. When you do a 9-to-5 job, you are an employee. Rightly or wrongly, to most companies, an employee is considered both an asset and a liability. When that business suffers or they have problems with their balance sheet, that really safe, secure 9-to-5 job that your mum always told you to go and get, all of a sudden disappears. This latest recession gives us a great example of that, where a huge number of people who thought they were in jobs for lives found themselves out of work in a market saturated with other out of work people. The only way that you can guarantee job security is if you're in this 9-to-5 job and you've built up a side business in your spare time that generates enough income that you no longer need this 9-to-5 anymore. So, what's the first step that you need to take to create this side business? Well, firstly, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Russell Flick, and I'm an author, a public speaker, and a business coach. Now, what I've done is I've spent a number of years learning from some of the biggest names in the industry on how to leverage the power of the internet and the social media to be able to create a number of successful businesses. And now I help people like you start out from the very beginning with your own business. How am I going to do that? Well, what I'm holding is a free webinar. A webinar is basically just a seminar, but instead of going there in person, you log into it via your laptop, your PC, or even your mobile device. And you can view live the training that I'm going to give you free of charge. What I'm going to go through is how to come up with that product or service idea where you base it off of your skills or your hobby or your passion. How to turn fans into Customers. This is where a lot of people trip up when they're starting out and they're learning from themselves, because it's actually quite easy to generate a big email list or a big subscriber list on Facebook, get lots of likes to a page. But actually taking that step of turning those fans into customers requires a little bit of knowledge and skill, something that I am going to teach you free of charge in this seminar. How to create passive income. Now this is really important, because while you can carry on trading your time for money, that's just another job. The real golden nugget is to be able to create a passive product. This is something which you would spend time creating at the start, and once you start, you release it out there and it's going to generate consistent income for you. And finally is how to start all of this while you're still doing your 9 to 5. That's important. You need to pay the bills somehow. If you're currently in a 9 to 5 that you don't want to do anymore, or you're interested in starting out for yourself, this is a webinar for you. If you already have a presence on social media but you're struggling to get those fans into customers, then this is definitely a webinar for you. If you are looking for ways to start a business with as minimal cost as possible, I'm going to show you how to do that as well. This is definitely a webinar for you. I will warn this is not something where you can just start it up and all of a sudden be an overnight success. This isn't a magic pill or secret formula that's going to turn you into a millionaire overnight. So if you're looking for a get-rich-quick scheme or something where you don't have to put any real effort or time into it, this is definitely not a webinar for you. But if you're willing to put the time and effort in, the one thing I would say is something that you will find very surprising and very rewarding is that even though you're going to have to work a lot of evenings, a lot of weekends when you're starting this up, but you will enjoy doing it because you're doing it for you, nobody else, you and your family. And you're doing it on a subject that hopefully you are passionate about and that you love. So you won't mind doing that evening, you won't mind doing that weekend. So if this sounds like something that you are interested in, click on the button below or the link in the description above to sign up for your spot on this webinar. I do have a limited number of seats that I'm allowed by the software. And as this is a free, jam-packed webinar, these seats will fill up quickly. If you want your spot, make sure you click on the button below to reserve your spot now. And I look forward to seeing you at the webinar.